Hi there, Martin from idealearnermember.com. Now, as we said in the, or as I said in the initial introductory video, I am actually now going to explain a little bit more about some specific methodologies that can be applied to creating an extra income through the use of your computer and various protocol systems on the internet. Now, for a start, I did actually mention that you should consider what are the things that you actually know about. What is your job? What is your career? What is your profession? What is your specialization? Again, we also mentioned things like it could be your hobby that happens to be an area that a lot of other people are interested in as well. As long as you can establish something that you're interested in, that you know something about, it's worth doing a little bit of a search on the internet just to see if there's a lot of other information on the same subject. That will give you an idea if other people are looking for the information you've got. If, for example, you're very specialized, you're very competent, but it's in something that is so unusual and so unique, you may find that not a lot of people are following or searching for it. The reason I say this is because you want to be able to ideally provide the information that you've got in an area that you know that other people are searching for such said information. That will save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, because you'll know that you're actually providing what people want, which is going to make the whole process more profitable for you. Now, it's not uncommon for people to tell me something like, you know what, I don't write much, I'm not a writer, I'm not an author. The fact of the matter is, more often than not, you don't need to be a professional writer or author. All you need to do is imagine you're talking to a friend and just turn your computer on, open your favorite word processing program, and even if you've got absolutely nothing to say, just say something. Just start to write. Type anything, even if it's, my name is Martin and I'm going to write about X. Because as you start writing, you'll find that it starts to flow and you'll just find that initial awkwardness will disappear. When you're doing this, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you start going, you'll be absolutely amazed how much you can actually write. And imagine you explaining what it is you're doing to a friend. You're talking to them on the same level, you're not talking down to them, you don't assume that they're any better than you, just write as if you're talking to someone. If you happen to be a professional author, well then it doesn't really matter, you know exactly how to do this. But if you're just the average person, follow this instruction, follow this advice, and you're actually going to see some amazing results, because it doesn't take long once you start. The first few pages may be a little bit rough, but once you get over it, it starts to become a whole lot easier. So I strongly recommend you follow that advice as an initial stage, because what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be creating our very first information product. It can be a few pages, it doesn't have to be a 150-page novel, it doesn't have to be something that includes multiple diagrams, multiple references. If you happen to have these diagrams, that is fantastic. If you don't, it's still okay as long as you're providing good information. You can start with mini reports, and then you can slowly build it up to chapters and details of a book if you want to expand it. Excuse me. Now, moving on from that, where I'm actually going with this, just to give you a bit of an overview again, is normally I actually say let's create a website, and I can assure you there are ways of doing this that are very, very easy. But when you've created a website, you're going to have to say to yourself, what are you going to put on there? How are you going to monetize it? How are you going to create a derived income from the site? And that is what this whole series of videos is actually going to be all about. So all we're going to do is we're going to start with a report which we're going to use as our giveaway bait. Then what you'll actually do is once we get to the stage where you start writing or creating your website, and that will be information I provide in another video, it'll be a case of saying, look, here's a brief introduction about the subject X, and I'm actually going to give you a free report, a free ebook, a free information brochure on the subject. You need to obviously have some hook, something that's going to encourage someone to give you their name and their email address. And we'll also be covering this whole issue of list building in another video as well. But by having the opportunity to capture a person's name and email address where they themselves have given you this information is extraordinarily powerful and very important in your business long-term development process, because having their details means that you can then provide them with ongoing excellent information in an automated way, I might add. You don't have to do this manually once you've set it up. And at that point, as you are sending out these updates automatically, you will be able to include sales processes where they will have built up trust in you and your product, and they'll be more likely to buy from you. So this is very exciting. I know that the information I'm giving you now is very limited, it's very focused, and it's very basic. But please do not discount its value, because as we build on the series, you're going to see just how powerful it actually really is. So, having said all of that, we can move to the next phase, where I'm going to basically say to you now, brainstorm what you can write about, have a look on Google, see what is available, what you can do, and then start writing. It doesn't matter even if it's terrible when you start, just start writing. Let that be this day's project for you, because as you do this, it's going to become easier. Because I will tell you now, we're going to be doing a lot of writing as we develop our websites, we develop our products. I'll be discussing things like audio, I'm going to be discussing things like video. If you've got a basic computer setup, you've probably got all the equipment you need to do what we're going to be talking about. But for now, we're going to work on just starting to write a report or a bit of an information package on the subject matter that you're going to choose. So let's work on that. Do a bit of a search to make sure that the information you're going to be writing about is information people are actually looking for. So pretend that you were looking for what it is you've got. Go to your favorite search engine, type in the search terms, and see what results come up. Obviously, the more information that comes up, the better, because that means that there's a lot of demand. But also think about special and unique keywords. And it doesn't have to be just one keyword. It can be a phrase, like, for example, how do I do X? How do I perform Y? The more information you can put like that will help you to create products that people are searching for. Use inspiring titles, use informative titles that pull the strings of intrigue, because that'll be more likely to capture people's attention as well. So just start writing today. Let that be today's assignment. Believe it or not, this is going to get a whole lot easier. There's a lot to do, but it's actually very straightforward when you see the pattern, and it's easier to actually start you on this unique process one step at a time. So let's get to writing this report, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow.